It's finally happening. After years of silence, Marvel's Wolverine has stepped out of the shadows with a gameplay trailer that left everyone buzzing. This is a violent, globe-trotting cinematic brawl that shows Logan at his rawest. From Madripoor's streets to snowy Canadian forests and the samurai traditions of Japan, Insomniac is building a game that feels tailored to Wolverine's world. And with gruesome combat, iconic villains, and a costume lineup, there's a lot to unpack. So, let's dive into the 10 biggest things you can expect when Wolverine finally claws his way onto PS5. A blood-soaked Wolverine like you've never seen before. Insomniac isn't pulling punches with this one. The gameplay trailer showed Wolverine at his most feral, tearing enemies apart in ways we've never really seen in mainstream superhero games. Forget stylized takedowns. This is about claws through skulls, limbs being sliced off, and finishes that leave both enemies and the environment scarred. The studio even built a dedicated blood tech system to make sure every slash looks visceral and leaves a mess behind. Compared to Spider-Man's acrobatic combos, Wolverine fights slower, heavier, and much more methodically, closer to the brutality of God of War. That's the right design choice for Logan, whose combat style has always been about grit and precision, not flash. Add to that Liam McIntyre's emotional performance. Yes, you'll see moments where Logan's eyes look more sad than savage, even as he dismantles enemies. And it's clear Insomniac wants you to feel both the violence and the tragedy of his character. This won't be a family-friendly romp. It's shaping up to be the bloodiest superhero game ever made, and it wears that identity proudly. A semi-open world that fits Wolverine. While Spider-Man thrives in a giant open-world playground, Logan doesn't swing between skyscrapers. That's why Insomniac is reportedly avoiding the sprawling sandbox in favor of a semi-open structure. You can expect hub-based regions rather than one massive city. You'll roam the seedy streets of Madripoor, trek through the Canadian wilderness, and stalk rooftops in Japan. But the areas will be designed for storytelling and combat first, not endless side activities. Missions look to be tightly crafted, with cinematic set pieces and brutal encounters, taking priority over exploration for exploration's sake. Think of it like Spider-Man's traversal freedom, scaled back into focused, intimate spaces that reflect Wolverine's more grounded nature. The world is still broad enough to let Logan's story breathe, but it won't waste time with unnecessary filler. This approach lets Insomniac pour detail into each location, making Madripoor's neon grit or Canada's snowfields feel alive with personality and danger. You'll get the freedom to wander, but always with purpose, perfect for a character who prefers hunting prey to sightseeing. A costume closet, rivaling Spider-Man's. If there's one thing Insomniac is known for, it's giving fans a wardrobe full of iconic outfits. Wolverine looks no different. His default costume is ripped straight from John Cassaday's astonishing X-Men run, rugged yellow and blue with tactical touches, sleeveless shoulder pads, and a modern twist. Fans of Hugh Jackman in Deadpool and Wolverine will notice the parallels, though Insomniac's design leans even closer to comic book accuracy. But that's just the start. Trailers already show Logan in casual gear, the red plaid shirt and cowboy hat, and a brown bomber jacket reminiscent of X-Men, the animated series. Beyond that, expect unlockable suits from across his history. The brown and tan 1980s look, the stealthy black and grey X-Force uniform, his savage Weapon X lab gear, Age of Apocalypse's red and blue variant, and plenty of movie-inspired outfits. The developers did this with Spider-Man, and they'll almost certainly go even deeper with Wolverine's rich back catalogue. If you want Logan as a superhero, a samurai, or a mercenary, his closet is going to deliver. The Madripoor Underworld comes alive. Marvel fans know Madripoor is more than just a backdrop. It's Marvel's hive of crime and corruption, and Logan has spent decades carving his legend there. The trailer gave us a look at the Princess Bar, one of Logan's favourite haunts, and the perfect starting point for shady dealings. Madripoor is also tied to his famous patch disguise, and fans are already speculating we'll see that identity pop up as a playable alternate skin or side mission arc. Insomniac seems committed to capturing Madripoor's dangerous nightlife, gambling dens, back-alley fights, and power struggles between crime bosses. This is the place where Wolverine drinks too much, stirs up trouble, and then slices his way out of it. It's also a perfect contrast to the snowy wilderness and samurai traditions of Japan, giving the game a globe-trotting feel without stretching into endless open-world filler. If Spider-Man's New York was about movement and scale, Madripoor in Wolverine will be about atmosphere, grit, and back-alley brawls that feel ripped straight from a noir comic. A cast of villains who can actually keep up. Logan doesn't just need faceless grunts to slash. He needs enemies who can take a beating and come back for more. The trailer delivered. Omega Red shows up with his carbonadium tentacles, a classic Wolverine rival dating back to his Team X days. He's a powerhouse villain whose draining abilities will make for a brutal boss fight. Mystique lurks in the shadows too, and given her immortal history with Logan, you can expect a more personal conflict that could shift depending on her self-serving choices. Then there's the jaw-dropping tease of a Sentinel powering up, giant mutant hunting robots designed to slaughter X-Men. If Insomniac stages a full Sentinel boss battle, it could rival the spectacle of anything in Spider-Man. Beyond the confirmed appearances, eagle-eyed fans spotted cybernetic soldiers likely tied to the Reavers, another long-standing Wolverine enemy faction. But let's be honest, the villains list won't stop here. Sabretooth, Silver Samurai, Lady Deathstrike. They're too iconic to leave out. Expect a rogues gallery worthy of Logan's bloody reputation. The Weapon X shadow looms large. Few storylines define Wolverine like Weapon X, and the trailer practically screams its influence. Snowy Canadian backdrops, militarized labs, and cybernetic enemies all point to Logan's tortured past resurfacing. Blink and you'll miss it shots show cyber soldiers that look like Reavers, possibly tied to Weapon X's continued experiments. This is about exploring the trauma of a man whose body was forcibly transformed with adamantium, and whose mind was shattered by endless manipulation. Expect flashbacks or missions that dig deep into that history, much like Spider-Man explored Peter's personal grief alongside superheroics. The difference? Wolverine's past is bloodier, darker, and filled with moral compromises. Insomniac has already confirmed Liam McIntyre will voice Logan, and his performance hints at a character who's both feral and weary. Storytelling here will also be about facing the ghosts that made him. If handled right, Weapon X could be the emotional backbone of the entire game. Japan's samurai side of Logan. Longtime readers know Wolverine's ties to Japan are as strong as his claws. From his romance with Mariko Yashida to his duels with Lord Shingen, Logan's samurai side is one of his richest story arcs. The trailer confirmed the Japanese settings. Even if Mariko or Yukio don't directly appear, you can bet Wolverine's respect for samurai culture will shape his interactions and combat sequences. This opens the door for katana-wielding foes, stealth-driven missions, and a clash between Logan's animalistic violence and Japan's disciplined warrior code. It's a perfect thematic counterweight, the beast versus the man of honor. If Insomniac dedicates even a portion of the game to this setting, it could deliver some of the most visually striking and narratively rich moments. Combine that with the fact Wolverine's fighting style is already methodical, and Japan might just be where his claws meet their greatest test. Canada, where it all began. Wolverine may be a world traveller, but his roots are undeniably Canadian. The trailer showed sweeping, snowy wilderness scenes that scream Weapon X facilities, but they also carry Logan's personal connection to solitude and survival. Expect missions where he's isolated, forced to track enemies across frozen terrain, or drawn into conflicts with Weapon X operatives who won't leave him alone. Canada is where Logan often retreats to escape his demons, but it's also where they find him again. This dual role, sanctuary and battleground, makes it one of the most important locations in the game. Environmental storytelling will likely play a big part here. Claw marks on trees, abandoned labs, and hostile wildlife adding flavor to the fights. If Madripoor is about chaos and Japan about discipline, Canada is about raw survival. And for a game that's putting emphasis on brutality, few things say feral Wolverine more than watching him rip through soldiers in a snowstorm, blood mixing with the ice. Immersion boost, DualSense haptics, 3D audio, and accessibility. Insomniac's PS5 games lean hard on the hardware, so expect Wolverine to feature punchy DualSense haptics, spatial 3D audio, and robust accessibility, grounded in the studio's recent work. Spider-Man 2 publicly showcased intense haptic pulses, adaptive trigger resistance, and cinematic 3D audio beats to sell big moments. That proven toolkit maps cleanly to Logan's bone-crunching finishers, bar fights, and Sentinel clashes. Insomniac and PlayStation detailed these PS5 integrations and hands-on impressions across official posts and previews, highlighting how haptics and audio heighten immersion. Given Wolverine's PS5 focus and Insomniac's habits, you can reasonably expect claw impacts you feel in the triggers, directional threat cues in 3D audio, snow crunch and metal screech textures in the haptics, and subtle pulses that track Logan's heartbeat during near-death states. Equally important, Insomniac's accessibility ethos should carry over. Customizable difficulty parameters, game speed assists, high contrast modes, audio descriptions, and screen reader support were all documented for Spider-Man 2 and expanded post-launch, signaling a baseline the team strives to meet or exceed in future releases. I mean, the net result is a Wolverine experience designed to be both viscerally tactile and widely playable, leveraging PS5 features for immersion while keeping options open so more players can jump in and shred. Release window and what platforms to expect. After 4 long years of silence, Insomniac finally dropped the big news. Marvel's Wolverine is coming. Fall 2026. Exclusively to PS5 at launch. But don't panic if you're a PC gamer. The pattern from Spider-Man 1 and 2 makes it almost certain Wolverine will slash its way to PC a year or two later. The game is being positioned as a major PlayStation showcase title, leveraging the PS5's power for its blood tech, cinematic visuals, and seamless load times. We'll see another deep dive trailer in spring 2026, which should clarify more about structure and mechanics. For now, fall 2026 is the date circled in every Marvel fan's calendar. The exclusivity will sting for Xbox players, but PlayStation clearly wants Wolverine as its crown jewel for that year. And given Insomniac's track record, this won't just be another superhero game, but it could be the most defining Wolverine story ever told in video games. Marvel's Wolverine is looking like a character study, drenched in blood, history, and raw storytelling. Everything we've seen so far points to a game that respects Logan's past, while reimagining it in ways only Insomniac can deliver. Between the brutal combat, the semi-open hub structure, the rogues gallery, and the emotional weight of Weapon X, this feels like the definitive Wolverine experience we've all been waiting for. The wait until fall 2026 is going to be tough, but judging by what we've already seen, the payoff could be massive. Strap in, this game is ready to cut deep.